Hello there and welcome to San Francisco, a city I know since I'm a young child, even though I've never been here. But there are songs written about this beautiful city. There are TV shows and movies that have been filmed here, and there is one show that comes to my mind immediately, and that is Full House.
In 1987, the first episode of Full House hit American TV screens. Later, the sitcom also became an absolute long-running hit on European TV channels and all over the world. Full House tells the story of Danny Tanner, who loses his wife Pam and is suddenly a single father of 3 daughters, DJ, Stephanie and Michelle. He gets support raising those children from his brother-in-law Jesse and his best friend Joey. Well, and the chaos begins.
The funny thing about this show, Full House, most of the scenes you see in the show have been filmed in a studio. But as you might know, the show has a quite famous opening with a quite famous song. And in this opening, you can see a lot of San Francisco tourist attractions. Tourist attractions that we're gonna visit today. Let's do a filming location tour of Full House. So, if you just thought, oh, that's an interesting San Francisco he's driving through, well, it's not. This is still Los Angeles. I'm still in Los Angeles, and there is also a reason for that. There is one single scene from the Full House intro that hasn't been shot in San Francisco. It has been shot in Griffith Park, Los Angeles, and that is the scene where you can see the characters running through a park, obviously, and I have absolutely no idea why they shot those scenes in Los Angeles. Is there no green park in San Francisco? I have absolutely no idea, but that's the only reason I can think of. Well, let's find those scenes here in Los Angeles.
Yeah, and if you walk just a few meters right into the park, right next to a huge children's playground, we will find a huge meadow with a little hill on it. The hill that you can also see in the show Full House. It's the hill where the Tanner family is running around to play some football. This is how it looks like in the show, and this is how it looks like in reality. There is a little cabin on the right side that you can also see in the show. And if we have a closer look at those scenes, we can see the area hasn't really changed. Maybe the trees in the background are a bit different. And what you cannot really see in the show are those power poles you can see here in reality and those power lines. You can't really see them in the series. And also this area you can see in the series still exists. There are some trees and a few benches over here where you can sit and relax. They are still here. Unfortunately, I can't show you the exact place because there are some tree works going on here and the truck is standing in front of those trees. But if you take a closer look at this funny curved tree in the back, you can also see this tree in the show. It's exactly the curved tree where Joey is standing in front of in the opening of the show Full House. Isn't that great? Yeah, what else can I tell you about Griffith Park? This park is actually a quite important one. It's one of the largest city parks in America. It's 17 square kilometers large, and it was founded by a man called Griffith J. Griffith in the year 1882, first as an ostrich farm, and later he built a lot of other stuff in this park. Today it's a quite important tourist attraction. For example, you will find the Los Angeles Zoo here, the Hollywood sign, but also the Griffith Observatory, which you can see here. Griffith J. Griffith was a quite complicated person, I would say, or should I say an absolute fuckface. He was arrested once because he shot his wife with a gun. She survived, luckily, but was hurt very badly. And after this incident, the city of Los Angeles stopped its cooperation with Griffith J. Griffith. But when he died, they continued most of his ideas. So that's why you can visit this beautiful green park today with all of its tourist attractions.
So, that's Griffith Park. I hope you liked it. And that was also my last shooting location I visited here in Los Angeles. Now we will finally go to San Francisco, which means a 7-hour car ride, which I will do in 2 steps. I've booked a hotel room in the middle of the route. Yeah, let's do it. Let's go to San Francisco. So, I just arrived in San Francisco after a very long car ride through the mountains, through the desert, through farmland or whatever that was. I don't know. And I really have to say, the first impression of San Francisco is really good. I just went to a restaurant that was really cute. The streets are really cute. It looks a bit like a village here, even though it's a really huge city. I don't know. Yeah, and the best thing is it's not 40 degrees anymore. It's just 22 degrees here in San Francisco, which is a plus, definitely. Yeah, but let's see if the second impression will be as good as the first impression. Let's continue our shooting location tour of Full House here in San Francisco. Let's go. So, what's the first place we're gonna visit today? Of course, it's the landmark of the city San Francisco, the Golden Gate Bridge. That you can also see in the intro of the TV show Full House right at the beginning. The place I am right now is called Golden Gate Bridge Vista Point, a place where you have a perfect view on the bridge. The only problem is, today it's quite foggy, so you only see half of the bridge. Whatever.
I think I don't have to tell you, but of course, the Golden Gate Bridge isn't just any bridge. It's so important for the city, but also for the world, that since 1995, it has been on the list of the wonders of the world, alongside buildings such as the Empire State Building, the Eurotunnel, and the Panama Canal. The Golden Gate Bridge was built in 1937. At that time, it was the longest suspension bridge in the world at 1,280 meters and was only replaced 27 years later by the Verrazano Narrows Bridge in New York. The color of the bridge is absolutely iconic. Actually, it was supposed to be painted a normal grey, but the residents liked the anti-rust paint so much that they kept it, because it also fits quite well with the surrounding mountains. You can take a closer look at the history of the bridge at the Vista Point. There is a lot of information about the construction. This, in fact, was an enormous challenge at that time, partly because the foundations had to be lowered into a strait that was affected by strong currents. There were also incidents, especially in 1937. 10 people died in a construction accident on the bridge. Today, the Golden Gate Bridge is an absolute landmark of the city of San Francisco. 120,000 cars drive over this historic construction every day. And if you think of the show Full House, you will remember also the Tanner family did exactly that back in 1987, and it looked like this.
1902, Beach and Pump.
The next place on the list is Fisherman's Wharf. This iconic emblem you see over there is also shown in the TV show Full House, and the restaurant right next to it, over there, Guardinos, is also shown in the series. It's the restaurant where the Tanner family walks by before they go fishing. Let's try to recreate those scenes.
And here it is. This is the place as we know it from the show. Danny Tanner and DJ and Stephanie are going fishing right in front of the Guardinos, and this is how it looks like today in reality. We can see the restaurant itself looks a little bit different, but it still has this red awning you can see in the show. It's still here in reality. What's also different are those bollards you can see here in the show, and this chain you can see here. It's not here anymore, so this looks a bit different today. This, by the way, is not just a fish restaurant, it's a fish restaurant mile. There are hundreds and hundreds of fish restaurants on this street. The Guardinos, the crab station right beside it, and many, many more. So yeah, if you like fish, this is the perfect place for you. Not for me, unfortunately, because I don't really like seafood. But anyway, if you like it, then this is the perfect tourist attraction for you. This is the famous scene from a different angle, and here we can see in the past, obviously, the crab station hasn't been here yet. We can see some kind of a garage, a hole in the wall or something like that, which isn't here anymore. Meanwhile, we can see the green crab station here. And also this famous emblem of the Fisherman's Wharf we can see in the show and also in reality. This has been filmed from over here. What's interesting is the building in the background that you can see in the show. There's a building which says Tokyo Sukiya or something like that, maybe a Japanese restaurant or something, I don't know. If I take a look around here, this building obviously isn't here anymore. There isn't any building that looks like this, so maybe they demolished it, who knows. But the famous emblem is still here. The Fisherman's Wharf, by the way, is a waterfront that was founded by Italian fishermen around the year 1900. Since the 1950s, it's a tourist attraction. You will find a lot of stuff here, like the Pier 39, a wax museum, a chocolate factory, and so on and so on. And today, the Fisherman's Wharf is an even bigger tourist attraction than the Golden Gate Bridge or Chinatown, which is quite funny, right? Anyway, what I didn't find here at this place, unfortunately, is this scene from the Full House intro, where the Tanner family is standing on some kind of a pier or something like that, with a beautiful view on Alcatraz. Unfortunately, I didn't find it. What I found is this pier over here. There are a lot of warships lying in this harbor that you can also visit if you want. And from this place, you will have a perfect view on Alcatraz, the famous jail island, that you can also visit if you want, if you take a little boat tour.
Just a few meters away from Fisherman's Wharf, we will find another two scenes from the Full House intro. Over there, right in front of this beautiful ship, Rebecca is smelling some roses. And over here, right in front of this industrial building over there, Jessie is playing the guitar.
And here she is, Becky, standing in her rose garden, which is not a rose garden, it's a little park that you will find here right above this harbor basin. Unfortunately, you can't see the roses here anymore. There are no roses, but there are a lot of other flowers and trees. It's really green here. And also those yellow benches are still here that you can also see in the opening of the show. And the most interesting thing is actually there is a huge ship in the background that you can see in the show and that's still here in reality. That's because this is the Balclutha, a Scottish ship built in 1886, very old, very historic, and it's still here. Today it's a museum ship lying here in the harbor of San Francisco for many, many years. Isn't that beautiful? And this is the reverse shot. Jesse is playing the guitar right in front of this building you can see right here. And this is the chocolate factory I was talking about just a few minutes ago, Ghirardelli, which used to be the largest independent US chocolate factory in the past. Today it's not like that anymore because today Ghirardelli is part of the Swiss company Lind and Sprüngli. What you can see here in the show and also in reality, not that much has changed. The building is still here in the background. Only the bench is a different model. Jesse is sitting on a brown bench and in reality, there's a yellow one right at this place. The next filming location I want to show you is right over here on this road crossing. It's the place where the Tanner family goes off the cable car, and right behind this road crossing there is another important scene and a quite famous street. You can already see a lot of tourists over there. Let me show you. Let me show you this scene first. Here we can see the Tanner family arriving with the famous San Francisco tram, and that has been filmed from over here. We can still see this beautiful view, but unfortunately we can't see the water anymore because there are a few more trees standing around here. It's much greener than it used to be in the past. But if you take a closer look on the right side, the houses you see in the show are still here. They have a different painting. Not much has changed in this street. By the way, this tram is not a normal tram. This, of course, is the famous San Francisco cable car. The main difference between a cable car and a normal tram is it has no electric overhead line. The train instead is pulled by a rope in the ground. That's why it's called a cable car. In the past, this technique used to be quite popular, but since electric trams are much more efficient and much faster, today the cable cars in San Francisco are the last of their kind and also a historic landmark that's driving through the city, up and down the hills every day. Here's the scene from a different angle. Here we can see the Tanner family getting off the cable car that has been filmed from over here. Also, the house on the right side still exists, even though there are some construction works going on at the moment. And here's Joey and DJ and Danny Tanner and all the others getting off the cable car at this road crossing. And oh, what a coincidence! Also in reality, there is a beautiful old cable car driving down the road. And right behind this road crossing, we will find another important tourist attraction. This amazing road. This is the Lombard Street, an 8-curve road leading down the mountain. This hill has a gradient of 31.5%. That's why they built this road here, to make it a bit easier for cars to go down the hill. This road is so famous that it plays a quite important role in pop culture. It's been shown in several movies and TV shows like Good Neighbor Sam or What's Up Dog, but also in video games like GTA or The Fast and the Furious, and of course in the show Full House. Here we can see Danny Tanner and his daughter Michelle riding down Lombard Street on the bicycle. That has been filmed from over here, and as we can see, everything is still the same. Today it's even greener than it used to be in the past while they shot the show. There are a few more trees and flowers and stuff like that here, and also the famous red brick pavement is still the same.
to show you one of the most important filming locations of the TV show Full House. Maybe it's also the most important filming location. It's of course the Tanner house. As we have already learned, no scenes have been filmed inside this house. They have been all filmed in a studio. But the outside view of this house really exists. It's over there, here in San Francisco. And I've never seen a shooting location that is such a huge tourist hotspot.
Yeah, but before we talk about the tourists, let's talk about the Tanner house itself. Here it is, and while I'm standing in front of this house, I notice that all of this actually makes no sense at all. Because in the show, the inside scenes are filmed in a studio, and what you can see there are those large rooms, this large living area, the kitchen, DJ and Stephanie's room. And if we take a look at the house in reality, this is actually a very small house. And I don't think that all of those rooms actually fit into this house. So I think this actually makes no sense at all. Whatever. If we compare the scene with the reality, we can see the house has a slightly different color. The door in the past used to be red, today it's black. Also, the garage door looks a bit different, and also the stairs look a bit different. In the past, there was this red brick pavement, like we already know it from Lombard Street.
Today, those stairs are gray.
And there's also a little black gate right in front of them for good reasons, but more about that later. What we can also see are those trees you can see in the show on the left side. That tree on the left side is still here, even though it's much bigger. But the tree on the right side obviously isn't here anymore. It's a different tree. What we can also see are those houses on the left and on the right side. They obviously still look the same, even though they have a different color. Okay, but now let's talk about the tourists. For this YouTube channel, I've visited so many filming locations, but I've never seen a filming location with such inconsiderate tourists right in front of it. Like every 2 minutes, there is a huge car driving down this road and 9 to 13 people are jumping out of it. They are screaming and yelling and doing TikTok dances, and then they take off their shirt to look good on Instagram, and then they continue screaming. There are also cars driving down the road with the opening song of Full House on highest volume. Really, I don't get what's wrong with those people. Just imagine you're living in this street as a resident and you have to see and hear that every day. There is a huge sign right in front of this gate I was talking about just a few seconds ago that says, "This is a private home, please behave," and exactly the opposite is happening. Please don't be that tourist.
Time to show you the last shooting location for today, and that is also the place I associate the most with San Francisco, maybe right after the Golden Gate Bridge, and it's this beautiful park over here and that beautiful skyline over there, where the Tanner family is having a picnic.
Well, and those buildings we can see here are the so-called painted ladies. They are called like that because they are painted so brightly. Painted ladies is also a synonym, a slang word for prostitutes, and the authors Elizabeth Pomada and Michael Larson coined this term for the beautiful houses in a book. This ensemble of houses was built in the 19th century in the so-called Queen Anne style, which is a mix of British and American architectural elements. At that time, there was a huge construction boom in San Francisco because of the gold rush. The painted ladies are also among the homes that survived the devastating 1906 earthquake. This was one of the worst natural disasters in the United States. Hundreds of historical houses were destroyed, but many later were rebuilt and restored. And luckily, we can also still see the painted ladies here today. Today in 2022, by the way, with this impressive skyscraper skyline in the background, which we can also see in the scene from Full House. One thing that is definitely different, the park that can be seen in the series is definitely not as empty as it looks on TV. apparently this is the absolute #1 hotspot to end the evening, and I can understand that. It's really beautiful here. Okay, I'm back in the motel. That was my shooting location tour of Full House, my sightseeing tour in San Francisco, and I really have to say, I really love the city. It's so beautiful, the architecture is beautiful, the people are beautiful, I like the restaurants, I like the food, the city is green, the city is modern, I really like it, and I really like it much more than Los Angeles, to be honest. Whatever, unfortunately I only booked 2 nights in this beautiful city, so tomorrow I already have to leave, and then we will drive to a very mysterious coast town. Can you guess what that means? I think you can't. Whatever, if you don't want to miss that, then you should definitely subscribe to this channel now and ring the bell so you won't miss any upcoming video. And if you like to support me and my work, then please check out my Patreon. Then you will get exclusive stuff, for example, the addresses of all the shooting locations I showed you today, and new videos before everyone else. So you should definitely check that out. Yeah, but that's it for today from San Francisco. Have a safe journey and see you next time.